about that, guys. Sorry about that. It is your boy, Donovan Sadiq, and I am coming to you live February 2nd, 2023 at 15:39 hours. For those of you civilians, that's 3:39 p.m. And I am trying to do two things at once. I am actually doing a podcast and a video cast at the exact same time. And a lot of stuff is going on. I'm back in the Dominican Republic, back into my neighborhood, back to where I enjoy being. Now, here is the situation. And if you guys notice, I'm on my computer and I'm in my hotel room, but I'm going to edit this video a little bit later to go out to everybody else because, yes, there is a big issue going on. And ladies, you are busted. You are totally busted. You guys are totally hypocritical. And when I say you guys, I don't mean everybody. I mean, come on. You guys know what I'm talking about. So here's the deal. Wow, I sound like Joe Biden, don't I? I said, here's the deal. So here it is. Do me a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button and become a member. It is your boy, Donovan Sadiq, the recovering Democrat. I am also a producer on the Dimitri K Show. Check us on Dimitri K Show, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you'll usually find me over there doing what I got to do. And also, I have other platforms that I do. I do a lot of political commentary. So if you really want some really good political commentary, please come and check me out. It's funny, a lot of my points in regards to the young man that was murdered by the police in Memphis, a lot of folks now, it seems to me they're taking my talking point, and it all goes back to critical thinking. Critical thinking. You just got to critically think about certain things, okay? So yes, I'm back in the Dominican Republic. I love coming here. Number one, I love coming here because I don't have a 14-hour flight to go to Asia to go see my old high schoolers, a lot of my friends in Asia. That's 14 hours from LAX into the Asian market over there. I'm looking at a minimum of 14 hours just to fly there. Coming to the Dominican Republic, this time it took me 33 hours to get here because I flew into the Puerto Plata airport. And when you're from the West Coast, it takes longer to come if you specifically want to come to Puerto Plata. Now, here's what I would advise. If you're from the West Coast, technically it is longer to fly into Puerto Plata than it is if you went to Santo Domingo, then took the bus and came straight up. You save more time that way coming into Santo Domingo. So I would advise do not come into Santo Domingo. Okay, you guys, so what is the topic? What is Donovan talking about today? A lot of ladies are complaining about the passport bros. And they're complaining about the passport bros because, and this is just my opinion, they're complaining because instead of these guys tricking in the United States and taking their money and spending it with them, these brothers are going overseas and spending their money, tricking their money with other women of other nations that will appreciate it. Okay? I don't care what you say. Tricking is tricking if that's what they're doing. Now, there was a young man that was run out of Brazil because his life was very, very much in danger because he was very disrespectful to the culture. Now, I lived overseas as a kid, as a military brat, and I've also traveled most of my life as a grown man in the United States military. And you are guests in these countries. And I say that every time I come on a show, I let people know, if I came to your house, I don't just come in there and do what the hell I want. You have rules in your house that I have to abide by. And if I'm being very disrespectful, you're probably most likely going to ask me to leave or kick my ass, then ask me to leave, right? Correct. So this young man in Brazil, he's young, and I'm going to give him grace because he is young. And but let's be honest. At 23 years old, he's not looking for a wife. So I do not understand why women always take an issue and they go to the most extreme example of what is going on. And also, if you guys hear any noises and stuff, I'm in the Dominican Republic, so they're doing a lot of construction and they're riding their motos and all that other good stuff. So please forgive me for that. But this is what triggers me. Every time an issue comes up, women seem to take the most extreme example and act like that's what all men are doing, okay? Now, for those of us that have traveling experience, is there sex trafficking trade or sex tourism, that's not trafficking, but sex tourism going on in the world? Yes, there is. And that sex tourism is going on mostly associated with Western white men. Now, why is that? Well, white men have money. The British Empire, and whatever, and the white man in America, they have money to travel. So they're traveling, doing these things. That is why I'm not saying black men and Hispanic men and other groups of men don't travel, but that's a small group of us. The numbers do not lie, ladies. If you are making $62,000 a year, $60,000 to $62,000 a year, do you guys realize that as a person, you're in the top 10% of people in the world? $62,000. If you're making $62,000, you are in the top 10% of all people in the world. So, being in all these democratic countries, since democracy and being and capitalism is so great, why is it that all these democratic countries, the standard of living is so damn low? Critical thinking. Nobody talks about that. So anyway, something to think about. Something to think about. I'm not saying socialism is any better, but I'm saying why is it that in these democratic countries, the standard of living is so damn low? Only a small group of people are living well. Okay. Again, the majority of people are always living in poverty. So that's what triggers me with women. They take the most extreme example and then they apply it to like everybody's doing that. And they never have any evidence of it. You know why? Because they know that people are going to take this little small sound bite and believe it. And the people that are spewing this nonsense are people you can tell have never traveled anywhere in their life. Because again, oh, they're going to these third world countries and they're, getting these women like slaves and making them sex slaves and they're not educated. The Philippines is one of the most highly educated countries in the world. Most women in the Philippines go to college. Most of them are nurses. Most of them are doctors. That is to me, the traditional vocation of what Filipino women go into. They go into nursing and teaching. See, so these people don't know what they're talking about, right? And they're talking about like sexism and sex tourism in these third world countries, right? Not realizing the United States is a third world country, okay? Not realizing that, okay? Where is the biggest red light district in the world? It's not in the third world country. It's in a Western country, Amsterdam. Those people that have traveled know that. In Germany, are there red light districts in Germany? Yes. Legalized prostitution. In most civilized Western countries, there are red light districts for people who want to engage in sex work. But yet these same women in the United States who have OnlyFans accounts and aspire to be strippers, and some of them just straight out go to hoeing, have the nerve to talk about women who are engaged in basically the same profession, like they're better. And I get embarrassed when women do that, any American, male or female, and they make it seem like they're better off than these other countries. Obviously, you have not traveled because if you look at what's going on in Africa, and I was in South Africa a couple of years ago with my friend Dimitri K on the Dimitri K show, and we went to Soweto. And Soweto reminded me of any black hood in the United States. Everybody had cable TV and cell phones. And the neighborhood was full of trash and all this other stuff. It's just crazy. Delusional. Delusion. Okay? So, here I am in the Dominican Republic, right? I'm a grown man. I'll be 53 years old this year. And I've never been to the Dominican Republic at this time of year. So I get here and I'm up near the Puerto Plata area, and all of the hotels are booked. I mean, I can't get a room anywhere. So I call my friend and I say, "What's going on? I can't get a room, whatever, whatever." He goes, "Oh man, yeah." He goes, "A lot of the Europeans come here this time of year, and they're leaving the cold of Europe, and this is where they holiday. Holiday is the same as the English word of vacation. It's the same thing. They say holiday, we say vacation, same thing." And I was like, "Okay, it makes sense because." In Puerto Plata and in Sosua, which is like the party town. If you're coming from Puerto Plata or Cabo that's the party town. So you go into Sosua and you kind of hang out. All the bars are down there, the beaches are down there. You have a great time, right? Um, so I'm going through the town and I see nothing but like young white families. And I'm thinking, well, this isn't a place I would bring a family. But then again, this time of year, there's not a lot of girls running around, right? But then my friend also said, "Oh yeah, and by the way, the Super Bowl is coming up, so that's another reason. So if you need to get a room, you better so and so and so and so." So I had him call another friend of mine that I stayed at his B&B previously, Airbnb previously, and he hooked me up. He hooked me up, and I paid a little bit more, but I got the room, whatever. So I'm going to be here for a while because I like being here, and I really do think this place has everything that I need. My attitude is a lot better. Matter of fact, today I went and got my massage, a professional massage through it's called the FMP, the Foreign Medical Program, which goes through the State Department. And if you're enrolled in that program, you will get your medical and stuff done if you get hurt overseas or you need some meds, especially if you're a veteran. So look into the FMP program, enroll in it. And that's through the State Department. Go to the State Department website or just Google it, the Foreign Medical Program. If you're an avid traveler and you're worried about your medical condition or situation, the FMP program will list all kinds of like places that, in whatever country you're in, if they have it, whatever, and it'll take care of your medical issues. And so you don't have to spend thousands of dollars and cash or whatever. So if you're an avid traveler, there's the FMP program. If you are a veteran and you are enrolled in the VA system, that is also another way of having medical assistance while you're overseas, because there might not be military bases where you're at. Like in the Dominican Republic, there are no military bases here. So they have a vet center that's contracted through the VA through the FMP program. So, uh, quick reminder for all you veterans that are out there listening to me, the FMP program, and they also will give you a ID. I got my Dominican Republic ID today. They'll print it up right then and there, or whatever, and they can access a certain part of your VA record and logs. So if you don't have your meds, you can order your meds through the VA center, if there's a VA center there, thing, and through the FMP program, and they can outsource it and get you your meds if you happen to lose them or what all that other stuff. So anyway, so I'm here and I'm in my old neighborhood and I'm doing what I usually do. I love the people watch. People watch is very very free. And I just happened to notice I'm on the beach. And I just happened to notice there are some older older women. Now, like I told you guys, I'm 53 years old. I will be 53 years old in May. So I'm 52 right now. And I consider myself a seasoned older man, older gentleman. Okay. I'm not the Thundercat I used to be. Um, there are some very nice, beautiful women here in the Dominican Republic. As a matter of fact, the Dominican Republic reminds me when I used to cry to stay in Panama, because in Panama there wasn't an ugly woman in the country. I can say the exact same thing about the Dominican Republic. They are traditional women here. They get it. There's no hangups. They like to cook. They like to clean. They that's their culture. They respect the man. They do all those things, right? So you see all these American women using the worst kind of trope you can use to describe what these men are doing. Now, there's a difference. Like that young man that was run out of Brazil, I don't consider him a passport bro. He's a young Thundercat there for a good time. He's not there for a long time. He's there for a good time. Let's admit that, everybody. Let's admit that. Stop the bullshit. Let's get real. He is there for a good time. Now, at 52 years old, I am not here for a good time. I am here to relax. I'm here to get my attitude better, which it does make me better. I have severe arthritis, so the weather makes my bones better. Even though I live in the desert, 9 months out of the year or something like that, 8 months out of the year, living in the desert is really great for me because it's hot and I like the hot weather. But in the wintertime, I suffer. So here I am doing what I got to do. But I've never been here this time of year. And I'm on the beach and I see. Now, let's get back to the women. So they keep saying, oh, these guys are doing this, these guys are doing that, they're exploiting these women, whatever. Okay, let me school you, ignorant feminists out there. Okay? You live in the United States, which has its own fucked up culture. Okay? Keep that shit in the United States. I keep trying to tell people you cannot antiquate how you were raised and what your culture dictates to other cultures. It is very hypocritical, in my opinion, that United States does not have legalized prostitution and legalized sex work, but yet it is a crime to have sex for money behind closed doors where nobody can see it, but it's not a crime to have sex on camera or on the internet, out in the open. People are starting to wake up to this bullshit. You got a $21 billion pornography industry in the United States. There is no pornography industry of that magnitude that I'm aware of here in the Dominican Republic. I think that you can combine all of the sex work in the world, and it would not equal up to $21 billion in 1 year that we have, that goes on in the United States. I am walking around and I'm seeing older men with their wives, with their grandchildren, young families in the town of Sosua, which is a known town of having fun. I'm seeing whole families here. I don't really see a lot of working, what you would consider working girls and things of that nature going on this time of year. Now, maybe when the Super Bowl hits, it might change a little bit, but this is where the Europeans come to vacation and holiday. And that young man that got run out of Brazil, even in the time that I've been here, I had to school a lot of these young Thundercats coming from Chicago, coming from New York, coming from Philadelphia, especially these Negroes coming from Atlanta and Houston. Don't bring that Thundercat culture here. You can get cut up. This is not your country. Do not be disrespectful. I had a friend ask me, they go, Donovan, you always go down there and, you're doing your thing, but, you never really have any video or any pictures or anything like that. Because I will never, ever videotape or take pictures in an area that is designated as technically a red light district area. Some of these girls do not want to be filmed and have their family know that they are up here. So what you got to do is you got to move in silence. Now, I didn't wake up and learn that overnight. My military career took me to where you just don't do those things. The best kept secret is one that isn't advertised. And what these young Thundercats are going to do is going to end up shutting these places down because they are promoting something that should always stay in the shadows. Does it exist? Yes, it exists, but it should stay in the shadows. It's nothing to be ashamed of in the modern age, but the point is there's a certain protocol that you do not do. Now, historically, traveling like this and doing things like this, and I'm convinced now that I see all these Europeans here, because they have the money, they are historically known to go and do this. In the time that I've been here, I've met Canadians and I've met all kinds of nice European guy. I got a buddy of mine that comes here. His name is Otto. I met him 2 years ago or a year ago, wherever it was. I think it's 2 years ago. And a German guy, and he was telling me how it was 30 years ago when he used to come here as a young man, whatever, whatever, and how great it was, whatever. And now it's getting messed up, and everything is being advertised, whatever. It was a best kept secret, is what he was saying. You move in silence, young men, because if you mess this up for the white man, he's going to shut it down. He is going to shut this mother down. You better believe it. Believe it. And that's the mistake the young man in Brazil did. You move in silence. You want to have a good time, you go ahead and have a good time. So the women are out here after 40 something years of talking about black men ain't shit, black men ain't this, blah, blah, blah. We independent, we all this. 30 something years of delusion. Black men have had enough, and they decided, I'm picking up my ball and I'm going overseas. Okay. And ladies, even if you do believe that men are going over here for explicit sex gratification, you can believe that if you want. And nobody would say that you're wrong, but that's not everybody that comes over here, okay? But come to find out, now that I've been up here, I'm at the beach, and guess what I see? I see a bunch of white older women with young, handsome, fit Dominican men. And I'm like, wait a minute, something's wrong. And then as I'm walking through the town and I'm, coming from the supermarket, I get my supplies. You got to have fresh water and all that other good stuff you're supposed to have. Vinegar. People go, why do you get vinegar? Well, you get vinegar. It's a survival method because sometimes you might eat the food and, it might not be all the way cooked or whatever the deal is. Vinegar will help kill any parasite that's in your stomach. If you eat food, you should get some hot sauce and put some hot sauce on it, and that will also help get rid of parasites that might be in your stomach. These are things that the military taught me when I was in survival school. But I'm walking through the town and I notice that this isn't the same town that I usually go to, at least during this time of year. And I noticed there's a lot of young men in the town. They're here to work. So it's been a reversal of what is going on. But notice the women move in silence, gentlemen. The women are moving in silence. I noticed on the beach, all of these older women. I'm talking about some women that are in their 70s, late 60s, with these young, handsome Dominican men. And what is going on here is they are coming here on holiday, just like men come here on holiday. And they're here to have a good time. And this isn't a one-shot thing. I'm seeing them in the restaurants. I'm saying, how many of you guys remember that song? One of these things belong together. One of these things just aren't the same. Well, you remember that song? And you would try to put what goes together versus what doesn't go together, and you match them. These things don't go together in my mind. Okay? Now remember, a lot of these white European women, they speak other languages, so they're fluent in Espanol, right? And so I ask my friends and I'm asking the locals that I know, and they're like, oh, yeah, no, the men are coming up here. Because then I also notice that the local police here are very heavy handed with these young men. And then I was told the reason why they're heavy handed with these young men is because a lot of them that do not live in this area, they're just coming up here to work. They're bringing the bullshit with them. So I don't know if it's heavy drugs. I don't know what's going on, but they're busting heads up here. Okay. They're not playing around. They don't have a problem with you, quote, quote, working, I guess, if that's what you call it. Like I said, we don't know if, the transaction between the two adults is two adults. And ladies, let me get you straight here. There is no such thing as prostitution in the Dominican Republic and a lot of Latin countries. There's no such thing. Okay? There's no such thing as prostitution. There's no such thing as pimping. Pimping is definitely not allowed in the Dominican Republic. They will not tolerate that. But because there's a lot of guys here, young men, young Thundercats, the police are very heavy handed. And I saw them bust the head of this one kid uh, the second night I was here. And I'm like, shit, he wasn't playing around. He wasn't taking no shit. Okay. And bust the guy in the head, took him to jail and stuff. And there's guys going in and out of there. Because, let's be real. We were all young. These are Thundercats. They think they're indestructible. They think that they can just, they're going to live forever. That's what's going on with these young people. We all did it. I'm not mad. But these young men are here up to work. But notice, I'm reporting exactly what I'm seeing. And here's the thing. This stuff has been going on for years. Fellas, my American fellas that are listening, how many of you have a girl that told you she's going on a girls' trip down to Jamaica, Montego Bay, with her girls? How many of you saw the movie How Stella Got Her Groove Back? What the hell do you think that movie was about? How did she meet Taye Diggs? In Jamaica, it's called Rent-A-Dread, and I put a link up on my site a while back. This has been going on even before How Stella Got Her Groove going. But I want you fellas to listen to me. Women move in silence. But they have the nerve to call out the passport bros. You want to know why they're calling us out? Because we do not move in silence. But notice the hypocrisy. They're calling us out and saying all the ugly tropes about us, but this stuff has been going on for years with them. And I don't have a problem with it. Hey, you're a grown woman. You do what you got to do. It's your money. You go do what you need to do. I do not believe if you're married, you should be cheating on your spouse. But if you're not married, you're not married. So I really, people say, well, what if that was your girl? I'm not married and neither is she. I have no right, none, to tell her who she can fuck with and who she can't fuck with. If she was that important to me, I'd put a ring on it, wouldn't I? Wouldn't I? The hypocrisy. I call these old ladies the passport olds, okay? The passport olds. So if you want to see this for yourself, I recommend coming to, specifically here to the Dominican Republic, late, the middle of January, early February. You're going to see a lot of Europeans here on holiday. But see, here's the funny thing, guys. The women know this. Avid women travelers already know this. And they keep it to themselves. And then they come back to America and they try to shame you because you want to open your options up and go somewhere else. If you're a young man, you want to go have fun. Now they're trying to shame you by saying that you're a pedophile, by shaming you by saying that you're soliciting a prostitute. No. What they're mad about, especially the ones that don't travel, what they're mad about is you're going to go trick in another country instead of tricking with them. That's what this is all about. You are exercising your options and they're mad. And now that we know about Rent-A-Dread and all this other stuff that's going on, notice that they're silent. Notice that they're silent. Hypocrites, man. Hypocrites all over the place. All over the place. So I'm going to tell you guys this, especially you young Thundercats. You're not marrying these women. You're not putting a ring on it. You're not being serious in the relationship. And she's talking about, yeah, me and my girls, we're going to go on a trip back on down to Jamaica. She's fucking somebody. Eddie Murphy made a joke about it, and it's true. She's fucking somebody. And do you know where they learned this from? They learn this from the older, bitter black women who can't get men in the United States. And so they're taking their asses down there and telling their nieces and all them, oh, we just gonna go on a girls' trip. Remember that in, I think it was Raw or something, Eddie Murphy Raw? And, here we are thinking that, oh, yeah, well, you gonna have a good time, baby. It's all good. And the whole time she's down there with Dexter St. Jock, fucking him and fucking him well. Coming back to the United States talking about, I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. Dexter St. John. True story. How many of you guys remember that? Eddie Murphy Raw. Man got his dick swinging. It's been going on for years, but they move in silence, fellas. They move in silence. So all you young Thundercats, I'm just going to give you guys some advice. In all my travels, and I'm not going to be hypocritical and act like I wasn't a young person too. I did some young person stuff as well, but I never advertised it. There's no proof of it. Zero. I can never be accused of doing something if you didn't catch it on video, it didn't happen. Women are moving in silence. You young Thundercats, move in silence. But this internet and this stuff that you guys are doing, Instagram and all this bullshit, all of these great places that you would like to go, Zaddy is going to shut all this shit down because you're fucking it up for him. You guys see what I'm saying? How many of you guys seen the movie Cocoon? A Ron Howard film starring Wilford Brimley, Don Amici. Great cast. Jessica Tandy, I mean, some really historic actors in that movie. They discovered basically a pool that was like a fountain of youth. And the aliens told them they can use the pool as long as they didn't tell anybody what was going on. Eventually, the secret got out, and the pool was rendered useless. Go watch that movie. All you young Thundercats, because you're not passport bros. The passport bros are older gentlemen like myself that are going overseas looking for wives. You are not a passport bro at 23 years old. You're not a passport bro at 20. Leave that gang baby mama mentality back in the States, back in LA, and all that other bullshit. These women, especially the younger ones, are influenced enough because all the TV they watch mostly is what feeds that come in from the United States. Here in the Dominican Republic, a lot of what they watch, American channels, is beamed from New York. And we've got cable and stuff like that. Yeah, we get it. We got YouTube. But the local channels that they watch out here is from New York. Leave the American stereotypical baby mama black culture, stereotypical culture, because there are some of us that use it. There's truth to a stereotype. There is some truth to it. Leave that culture in the United States. You are a guest in these countries. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care how much gorilla pimping you can do in the United States and how big and bad you are. These people will fuck you up. The men here, this is a patriarchal society. They will fuck you up if you're being disrespectful. You want to have a good time? Fine. Just be low key with it. They love machismo out here. They love machismo attitude. Okay, that's the culture. But the revolution, my brothers, will not be televised. It won't be televised. All my military friends say, oh man, Sasu, oh, you're going up here, you're going over there, whatever, but you go back to the Philippines, do that. No. Even if I did, I wouldn't post it. It would be for my own personal use. We're in an age where people are monitoring how their country is being depicted. Now, as a black man, I get offended when the hood is always depicted as run down, trash everywhere, whatever. But there's some truth to that. But I get offended. when that is what foreigners or other people think of a black neighborhood. So if I get offended by that, how do you think these people feel when you portray their country as a sex destination? And I'm not just talking to the fellas, I'm talking to the ladies too. I'm talking to the women, the hypocritical, delusional women out there too. And you've been doing it longer than us, ladies. And you got the nerve to talk about passport bros. Shame on you. Shame on you. But anyway, having a good time here, you guys. When I get back, I got a lot of surgeries, I got a lot of things to do. I'm going to be talking about coming up. We're going to be talking about the murder of the young man in Memphis and the police, and really the J.C. Davis, the police chief of Memphis. She has a lot of explaining to do in regards to this young man's death because the blood is on her hands. The blood is on Nancy Pelosi's hands. The blood is on Jimbo Clyburn's hands. The blood is on Sheila Jackson Lee, the CBC. All of these people that have the power and refuse to do anything about it. Qualified immunity is not negotiable. Law enforcement's qualified immunity needs to be repealed. The stigma and the training of I got to get home to my family should not be in the training manual. You join the police to protect and serve. If you are not going to do that, and you rather put your family and yourself before the public, you should not be a police officer. You should not join the military. The sacrifices military families make, you just would not believe. The spouses lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in job opportunities and just jobs themselves. But we have a police coward culture of, I got to get home to my family. Well, then don't be a police officer. 5 black cops. And I've said this on the show for you guys that have followed me. We have black people that have been police chiefs in every major city all around here, and yet the police culture does not change. So I don't want to hear it. We've got black leaders all in the government. We even had a black president, and nothing was done for us. Zilch, but they depend on our vote. We keep giving them our vote and receiving nothing for it. Wake up, Black America. School days, wake up. It's going to happen. Hey, I'm a long-suffering Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm taking the ridicule as it comes. All my Eagle fans out there, and you guys don't deserve to be in the Super Bowl, but we do. But congratulations to those that made it. If you could beat the Dallas Cowboys even during the regular season, that's your Super Bowl right there. But we're having a lot of problems with that. I'm enjoying myself here in the Dominican Republic. If you've never been to the Dominican Republic, one of the main reasons I come here is because it is a quick, inexpensive trip for me to come and get out of the cold. I live in the desert, and it gets cold in the desert in the wintertime. People don't believe that in California, but it does. And I have a lot of friends here. And like I said, the medical, everything I need is here. I'm getting some treatments here, therapy here, all kinds of stuff that's here. And I'm going to the beach every day. My attitude's a lot better when I'm here. It's a good thing. But I can tell you, all these young people that might be listening, travel when you're young. Try to get it out of your mindscape. Because if you can travel when you're young, and let's say that time you turn 30, you start having a family. Your wife wants to go places. You've already been there. You know where to go. You know what to do. You don't have a fear of being a tourist. When I come down here now, I feel like this is my home. Even though I've traveled all over the world, I love the Dominican Republic. I love the way I basically have set up myself here as I set up myself in my home in California. Everything is within a radius of what I need. I don't need anything else. People don't bother me. I don't bother them. I just came from my Spanish class. I'm taking a free Spanish class that they give here to increase my Espanol. I love the culture. It's a great place here. Okay, but I do realize I'm a guest, and I'm going to enjoy myself and have a good time and spend money with these people, help the local economy. But I'm not going to sit up here and act an ass and be the ugly American that we do not want to be. Okay? We do not want to be that ugly American where they're going to run us out of town. And it's funny because every time I come here, people recognize me and say, "Oh, hey, you're back. You're back." Yes, I'm back. I was talking to my therapist today, and everybody should talk to a therapist. And it's good to get things out, and get things that are off your mind. And the funny thing is, I have a degree in social and behavioral science, which is part of the psychology field. So it's like I'm kind of examining her while she's examining me, right? And we're just bouncing ideas off, having a nice, great conversation. And I'm going to tell you guys this. Um, it's great to learn another culture. It's just a great thing, and they appreciate it that you make the effort. But you don't want to become a problem down here. One thing I do not want to do while I'm down here, after what I saw that cop did to that young Thundercat when I first got here, I don't want to go to the jail down here. The jail is right down the street from where I'm staying right now. They're busting heads down there. Being American has no bearing whatsoever. But the people that see me, they recognize and say, "Oh, he's just an older guy. He isn't, a Thundercat or whatever." And then she saw me and she's, "Oh my God, you look really good," because I did put on some weight uh, from the last time they saw me. So they're like, "Oh wow, you put on some weight." Yeah, not a lot, but I'm starting to get mistaken for my brother. So I'm taller, my brother's wider, but I'm trying to put on that weight, which is really good. She said I look really good. Okay, so I guess so. But I got my professional massage and through the VA, through those clinics. So think about it. They even got a gym in the clinic. So now I'm going to be going to the gym 3 times a week while I'm here. So I set it up where I have everything I got, so I feel at home here. I don't have a problem. When I see these young American Thundercats about to get in trouble, I can't tell them what to do, but being an older guy, I can't advise them. Because sometimes they'll ask me and I'll be like, "No, don't do that." So take heed. But ladies, stop being hypocrites. Just stop it. The jig is up. You've been found out. Now we know. Hey, you guys, I'm Donovan Sadiq. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Do me a favor. Join me, Demetra K, on the Demetra K Show on Sundays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, go out and check out the African Diaspora channel. Be a member over there. Join it. Brother Phil be dropping some dimes, as you guys see. He's on YouTube. I go back with Brother Phil as far as when he very, very first started. Guys, information is there. We just got to take it. The Trey King Show, that's another brother. The New Black Media. Shout out to all of these groups that are keeping everybody awake. The reparations thing is still going strong. We haven't given up that. Keep your foot on their necks. You got to figure this out, you guys, and reparations is the only way to do it. We're not leaving without a check. So in this reparations talk, like I've been telling in all of my broadcasts, whatever they offer, whatever state you're from, whatever city you're from, it isn't a final check. You should be saying, "Oh, this is a great start. Now, next year, there should be an increase, and then an increase, and then an increase." Okay, we're not talking final check. We're talking starting check. Okay, that's the plan moving forward. I'm Donovan Sadiq, you guys. I'm the recovering Democrat. I am in the Dominican Republic once again. You have just now been informed. Do not forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And we're going to see you guys again very, very soon. Donovan Sadiq, I'm out.